Hey, what's up, y'all? King JB, MMA Kingdom. Basically, I'm here to talk about a few things, but one thing in particular. I really hate having to do these call-out videos, but every now and then in the world of the internet, sometimes it has to happen, man. Just because there's so many people that you come in contact with, and you really get to see the good side of people, and you also get to see the bad side of people, the fake shit. And, in this world of MMA, especially underground MMA, for the most part, like what we have here in Indiana, and sometimes, you come across some real slime balls. And today I'm going to talk about one in particular, by the name of Chad Eaton. Many of you guys followed us, over the past couple months, and just in general, recently on the Legend of Fighting Championships Facebook page. I kind of want to explain a few things, and then I obviously give my message to Mr. Eaton himself. First and foremost, I try to show everybody respect if they earn it, and especially if you're in my inner circle, I never ever turn on you or never talk badly about you. Chad Eaton was not in my inner circle, but he was definitely someone that I refrained from talking bad about. And I'm going to get into that and explain the entire history there a little bit before I go ahead and tell you how much of a punk bitch he really is. Alright, when I first got into this thing, as you guys know, I'm a journalist, but I do have aspirations of fighting in the cage. My wishes to fight in the cage are for one reason and one reason only. Well, two reasons actually. Number one, I like to beat people up, and to be perfectly honest, I've got 3 felonies, so I try to do it the legit way, without going to jail. But really, also, it has something to do with my journalism career. I believe that until you do something, or are willing to do something, you shouldn't criticize it. Unless you're a fighter, or at least know what it's like to get in a fight, you shouldn't criticize fighters. And me, most people know my history, know my past. I'm definitely a fighter in more ways than one. Anyway, Mr. Eaton and I, from the very beginning, was cool. We were supposed to have he was supposed to be my debut fight back in April for premier cage fighting, I believe. But anyway, I ended up getting a staph infection, which I posted the pictures everywhere. It was one of the nastiest staph infections you had ever seen. That fight was subsequently canceled, and he actually went to California. Okay, now with that being the case, there was no real hard feelings, but I had gotten into it with a personal friend of his, Donnie Bishop, and so he decided to call me out. Time passed a little bit, and I basically let that go. I'm the type of person that you make a mistake, cool. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's in terms of calling me out, maybe you were having a bad day, and I let it go. So me and Chad Eaton was cool again, whatever. First of all, Chad just fought for the first time since I've ever known him. Recently against Keandre Howard. And I'm going to get into that because why he talks so much shit about other people, Chad has only fought one time this year that I ever since I've been in the MMA Kingdom and created the MMA Kingdom, Chad Eaton has only fought one time, and it was this past weekend. So why he talks a lot of shit, he himself isn't out there fighting as often as he makes it seem. Now, number 2. Like I said, I let him back into the picture. Me and him was cool. We talked about potentially going ahead and doing the fight, just out of friendly respect for the sport, and we thought we could sell tickets, and we thought it would be good. Okay, LFC 48 was scheduled. We talked about possibly fighting then. I also talked about possibly fighting Keandre Howard. But what happened is we had Sean McCorkle coming in, and Matt Gunning, the event manager, called me up. And he said, hey, it's up to you. I think this is an event you really probably would want to cover as a journalist instead of fighting at. And I listened to what he said, and I agreed. With McCorkle coming and all of that, I think it was a better idea for me to cover the event cage side than take the risk on getting in a fight, doing my fight in the amateur card, and then what if I got hurt and had to go see the doctor, I missed the whole rest of the card and couldn't cover it correctly. So I agreed with Mr. Gunning. I said, alright, hell yeah, let's go ahead and you know, I got all the time in the world to fight. You know what I'm saying? Since I'm not trying to go pro and make the UFC, I can fight anytime. It's not really that big of a deal. But my #1 priority is my journalism career. Now, fast forward. LFC 48 this past weekend. And keep in mind, me and Chad's been real cool. He's a bugaboo type cat. You know what I'm saying? Wanted me to call him a few times. He wanted me to, just in general, man. He's a real jerk off. But we're gonna get to that shortly. Anyway, LFC 48 comes on. I interview him in the back, man. I was real happy to meet him. He was fucking 2 hours late to the weigh-ins before. I had to call him to see if he was coming. You know what I'm saying? Real unprofessional. He thinks he's a fighter, but he's not, man. Real unprofessional dude. Anyway, 48, I interview him on camera. This fat fuck didn't know what the fuck to say. You can just tell that he's had no attention in this sport, and just in general, man, this sport really isn't for him. This is not his line of work. He can't really do this work. But anyway, that's not the point. So we were real cool, man. We talked about the potential, joked around about the potentially of me and him fighting next. Anyway, he taps out in his fight. The ref doesn't see it, and he ends up winning his fight. Me and him still cool, but I still, as a journalist, I talked about that and showed the video to everybody on my website. I think deep down that hurt his ass. I think he's butthurt about it. And I'll get to that shortly as well. Because here's what happened. Yesterday on the LFC Facebook, he began talking about the potential fight. Now, I want you guys to know the truth that at LFC 48, even though we had joked about the fight, talked about the fight as making it happen, Scott Sims, the owner of the Legends of Fighting Championship, came up to me later in that night and said, hey, we're going to be doing this thing with Comcast. I really like your knowledge with the sport. Like to be able to bring you in as a commentator. Obviously, that's my line of work. This is my journalism career. And so, you know, Chad Eaton had already left, you know what I'm saying, so I hadn't really had a chance to talk to him because it really wasn't that big of a deal anyway with Chad Eaton. He's the one trying to be a fighter, not me. I'm trying to be a journalist. It don't mean I won't knock his bitch ass out, which I'm going to get to that here shortly as well. Alright, on the Facebook page, here's what Chad Eaton did. He said he wanted to fight me at 49. He keeps saying my name wrong. He knows my motherfucking name, but for some reason he keeps saying it wrong, and it's just fucking ridiculous. So I put him on there. I said, yeah, and I put LOL, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that'll be fun. I said, but I think Mr. Sims has another business opportunity for me to do for 49 and 50. And I had to talk to him first and see what's going on. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to fight 49 or if I'm going to be commentating 49. This fat bitch comes back and basically calls me a pussy. How many times you gonna bow out of fight? Blah, 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 man. You know, if you don't want to fight, if you're not, you know, just say you don't want to fight. That was the most disrespectful thing I'd ever heard. For him to call me out in public like that, without even talking to me since we were supposedly cool, to even say, hey, so what kind of business opportunities you got? He decided to call me out like I was a pussy or something. Which I definitely took offense to. Obviously, if I'm not really trying to be a fighter and I get a better opportunity which makes me money as a journalist, yes, I'm going to take that. Why would I pass up my career and making money to fight some fat Beach Grove kid for free as an amateur? I have a family to raise, unlike Chad. Chad probably lives with his mama and shit. I have a house and an automobile and bills. Not to mention I go to school full time. And run the kingdom. This fat fuck. Anyway, like I said, he basically tried to make me out to be a pussy. And then, when I called him out on it, you know what I'm saying? He had the nerve to say that I was a fake wannabe, a wannabe fighter, a wannabe journalist. CageCraze.com so much better than me. Blah, 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 blah. You know, first of all, no offense to CageCraze.com, but they ain't got nothing on me, man. We're on a completely different level. We're two different types of journalists. You know what I'm saying? He's got his things are very. He's got a great idea with the social network, but he's as a journalist himself, and his thing is a very boring style of journalism. He's a very conservative, boring journalist. Me, myself, we all know what King JB does, man. I'm wild with it. And I'm entertaining, and people love the shit. You know what I'm saying? Controversial, whatever, maybe. But you know, so, and this ain't trying to start shit with CageCraze.com. I got nothing but respect for what he does. He's overcome some serious situations in his own life to be as successful as he is, and I got nothing but respect for CageCraze.com. For Shane over there. I think they do great work. We're just on different levels. We do different shit, so we can coexist at the same time. But anyway, Chad likes to throw that in there to piss me off. And so he says I'm a fake journalist, this and that, my fake YouTube videos, which, first of all, what the fuck's a fake YouTube video? This shit is obviously a real YouTube video. My so-called radio show, let me make this clear, my so-called radio show has over 12,000 listeners, and I interview some of the biggest names in the sport week in and week out. So fuck what Chad Eaton's saying. The MMA Kingdom, I have real sponsors. Chad Eaton can't even find a sponsor for his fat ass in the cage. I have 8 sponsors for the things that I do. If I was in the main event, if I was fighting, I would sell hundreds of tickets probably. Chad Eaton has to pay for his bitch to get in. You see what I'm saying? Huge difference. I sit cage side for free with my wife. He has to pay for his bitch to get in. Huge difference. And he knows it. Anyway. So anyway, like I said, he tried to make me out to be a pussy. You know, the LFC ownership deleted the post. They threatened banning me from the Facebook page. You know, which at first I took offense to, but then they came on the radio show and explained the professionalism side of it, and I agree. They agreed that Chad Eaton started the whole thing, and that is true. For some reason he's called me out publicly for a second time now, and obviously wants a problem. But let me go ahead and tell you guys what happened behind the scenes, and I'll post you guys the messages. I told Chad Eaton, I said, where you at right now, man? I'll get in the Cadillac, I'll come get you right now. Fuck this MMA cage shit. I can go do my commentary for them and beat your ass in public real right now. And I told him, I said, I know you little fake asses up in Beach Grove or whatever, man. I know how hard you Beach Grove cats think you are. But, you know, I said, tell me where you at right now. Well, we can do this shit right now. You know what this fat fuck says to me? You're not worth my time. Okay, and wasn't this whole thing started because I chose my career over fighting this amateur fat fuck for free? So now I'm not worth his time. Why? Because I'm serious about this shit. We don't have to train for this shit. We can do this shit right now in the streets. I'll give you my address, Chad. Whatever, man. We can get this shit popping right now. Anyway, my whole point of this is that behind the scenes, you know, he didn't really want to answer them questions, man. He wanted to show off. I think he's trying to market a potential fight. But this shit is beyond MMA now, man. You called me out, you called me a pussy, you called me a bitch, you called me a fake journalist, a fake fighter, all this shit. Man, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass. You better hope that we don't see each other in public. I'm not a mixed martial artist, man. I'm the Tank Abbott of this bitch for real. You know what I'm saying? The Tank Abbott of the journalism world, man. I'll knock your motherfucking ass out. And with that being said, Chad, you know I'm not worth your time now. You showed how scared you are. Because you know ain't no referee to pull me off of your motherfucking ass in the street. And I don't have to use omoplatas and shit like that. I could use whatever the fuck I want. You feel me? And that's the problem, is that you know, I don't know what your problem is. I don't know if you thought by calling me out that I was gonna just let this shit slide because I'm gaining momentum, I'm gaining steam. And here's another thing, Chad. I can tell your assholes hurt because I told everybody and showed the video of you tapping. You're mad because I have 0 fights and have way more buzz in this state of Indiana and MMA in general than you have. You go out there and fight and no one knows who Chad Eaton is. No one cares who Chad Eaton is. King JB, I've taken over. You know what I'm saying? Even Donald Hoover will tell you, even as infamous as his name was in the state of Indiana, there's more people that know King JB than Donald Hoover now. This world is mine, Chad. You just pay rent, man, and everybody knows it, man. You know? And why? Because I have the work ethic. I bust my ass every day in this journalism world and in MMA. I do more for MMA in one day than you've ever done for this sport. That's why I can be cocky. That's why I can be arrogant. Because I work my ass off in this sport. To have some fat ass nobody that'll never be anything to come out here and criticize me and challenge me like that in public, alright. You turn down my challenge for the streets. Why? That's the problem with some of you cats, like you and Cornelius George and all that. You fucking do all that, but when a motherfucker really gets to you, ask Bloodstained Lane about me, man. One of the biggest mouths and names up in New York, man. Some of these big mouth cats, I come out and I snatch y'all's motherfucking ass up and tell you, man, let's do this shit in the streets, let's do this shit for real, and then y'all get real soft like. And no, I'm not talking about Bloodstained Lane there, because me and Bloodstained cool. He's a good cat, real good dude, man. He plays a good character on YouTube. But me, King JB's not a character, Chad. And you know this, and I know this, and everybody knows this. So you want to sit here and talk this shit, you're going to realize who's king, homie. This is not a character. I'm going to find your fat ass, and we gonna throw these things regardless. It don't have to be in an MMA cage. But like I said, you know, my business comes first, man. I'm trying to make money. I made more money at LFC 48 than you did, and you're a fighter. Am I right or wrong? You had to pay for your bitch to get in. I made money. Right or wrong, Chad? Keep my name out your mouth, man. Keep my name out your mouth, because you really don't want to fight me. You're a scrub. You suck. I saw you in the cage, homie. And I will sponsor Big Elk. Big Elk is going to whip your ass in September, and I'm going to be down there. And we're going to see, we ain't at the LFC. I can do anything I want and not get in trouble at all. So you may be fighting twice when you go down to the IFC for Big Elk. He's going to whip your ass, and then I might whip your ass in the parking lot, bitch. Real shit. Don't let this journalism shit fool you. The MMAKingdom.com isn't all King JB is. Remember that. Anyways, with that being said, I apologize to the Legends of Fighting Championship for the lack of professionalism that was on their Facebook. I do apologize. I do appreciate them coming on my radio show and admitting who was right and wrong in that scenario. And Mr. Eaton, you will pay for what you said. So with that being said, man, consider it a threat, consider it a promise, consider it whatever you want to consider it. But I got your number, you got my number. Let's make this shit happen, man, in the streets, wherever. Your little young punk ass isn't even you're old enough to drink yet. And you want to battle with a grown-ass man? You got it, bitch. You got it. Period.